Okie dokie, I guess then. Let's start.
What are you doing?
I will go through the replays which were uploaded in on the Google Drive and point out like the most like awful mistakes, I would say. And here this game shows a pretty basic example why you should always double scout in TvZ. Because if you're unlucky, Zerglings might run to your base and you don't even know it until it's too late. So here in this game, Zerg goes for 9-pool gas and Zone goes for some kind of wall, but one problem is he doesn't know how to wall, even though on this map it's actually really easy to wall because the map makers show you how to do it with like the little snow on the edges where you should place the barracks and the depot where he builds his barracks now.
Yeah, there's some stones on the ground for the depot. And
now he scouts at the usual timing, that's all fine and dandy. But when he arrives at the first location, he doesn't send another SCV. So he completely misses like the 9-pool Zerglings which are on his way. And usually if you would double scout you would see it by now. And you could then pull enough SCVs to still hold it, even though you don't have a full wall, it would be no problem. But he doesn't know, so he's just going to die. And that's basically all there is to this game. So you should never gamble as Terran, because chances are not so small that Zerg goes for 9-pool speed. And now he just tries to somehow hang on, but it is basically really a lost battle at this point because he doesn't even have gas, doesn't even have a marine. So Zerg basically just auto-wins from here. That's basically it for the first game, which is actually a good showcase of why you should always double scout until you're pro level, basically. Because there are some scouting patterns where you can skip the second one, but it's even I myself do not fully understand how to do it. So it's better to just double scout. After you scouted the first location and you didn't see either an overlord or the hatchery. Because even a drone, you don't know exactly how he scouted when he started to scout, so you should not assume if you see a drone at your first location that he is on the closest spot. Then he could have also just cross-scouted to also check for BBS or something, and it's a really slight timing difference, like a couple of seconds, like 4 or 5 seconds or so, and it's really hard to see it or know it.
Yeah, the only thing you can do is like predicting where he scout with his overlord on which position and then decide making a normal or a cross scout or something, but then you need a good map knowledge and game sense.
And also I would also not do that because at higher levels at least, when they go 9-pool, they deliberately do not scout at the standard pathway to fool you. So you scout a base and then he goes and you don't see an overlord and you think he will then be at the other spot close to you, but in reality he's just cross position from you and you will miss his attack.
So possible, yes.
So you send the SCV when the
first SCV arrives, so like most of the time for me it's 14 supply. Is that okay if I just send it there?
Yeah, it's between 14 and 15 supply. Yeah.
Okay.
Every time I send it at 14, the 15 SCV I send it, and every time I can catch 9 pull. I do it every time.
Yeah, that's good. You can do, there are two like scouting timings, like either 11.5 or 12. 11.5 is better for if you want to go for run Rax Expand, and 12 is better if you go for factory play. Because with 11.5 scout you can see all natural locations. When you have 17 supply and exactly enough money for your command center. But if you go for factory, you don't expand that early, so you can send your SCV slightly later. Okay, so next game would be this one. Same name and password. So this is from the same player, I believe.
Yes. Zone?
Yes, it is. But here he makes the same mistake by not double scouting, but here he is lucky. But he does other mistakes which are worth pointing out. So in this game the Zerg goes for overpool, but for some reason he's too afraid to move out his Zerglings, so Zone is actually gets ahead. And the Zerg player goes in this game for free hatch play. And what is worth pointing out is that his opening is
His CC is on the ground.
Yeah, that's why you should always double scout. It's a little bit, it's really risky actually. But it paid off in this case, but he does other mistakes. For example, he forgets to build his third supply for a decent amount of time, and he should build it at the natural to narrow the entrance. And what he also does, which is not so good, the bunker placement is pretty bad. He should place it closer to the middle of the entrance and closer to the CC, because as it is now, Zerglings can run by at the bottom and he can harass SCVs, and you have to pay attention to it, which is also not so good. And I don't know if he screws up his build order, but he goes for one gas. For gas after one barracks. And then he doesn't get an academy for ages.
Also, I think bunker, like below the bunker, it's where there's the smallest gap. If you build bunker just above the CC.
Yeah, that's a good positioning.
Links can pass through the bunker, I think, if not mistaken.
Not on the top. At the bottom, yes, but on the top they can fit. Okay, so now here he is going for, like, in quotation marks, 2 barracks academy. And he adds then a third Rax, which is normal. And what is also like lackluster is because his academy is so late, his scans are also late. And he basically plays blind. And when he does at some point add the...
He doesn't cut a CV.
Yeah, that's also...
He should have cut like already one
round, because
before.
Versus a normal free hatch build, his scouting information will be too late, and he doesn't. And the mutas or lurkers would already be in his face, and he doesn't know it. So, but what he also does is when he... I will remove the vision from the Zerg. And when he scans, he only scans the main. And he sees a Spire and 3x hatching. He didn't see...
Wow.
And one thing you
Yeah,
what he got tricked here because he didn't scan the natural. So another tip is if you scan the main and see a Spire, you should always scan the natural just to make sure that it is indeed Mutas. Because if it is Mutas, it is no problem that you wasted the scan, so to speak. But you have made sure that it is the right tag. And now he's blind and he prepares for Mutas, even though there aren't any. And if you are so unlucky, you scan the natural and you see, okay, he's going lurkers, then you just have to build bunkers and the turret next to it so that you have detection when he attacks you, if he attacks you.
Right now you should know something's up though, because Muta's still not coming and he saw the 3x, yet he didn't scan at all.
Yeah.
And it's like 8 minutes almost and still no Muta, so...
Yeah,
now he scans again. Sees, but now he's...
That's pretty
but
late.
now he's afraid to move out because of stunned lurkers, I think. And now he has to waste always scan to move a little bit further. And because he thought it was Mutas, he went 5 barracks, I assume. And it's just... You have to be really good to pull that off versus logger openings.
It was also a bit risky just to move
Yeah.
out there. If the Zerg had like 5-6 lurkers on the right side, he could just sneak inside, kill all the marines at the natural.
Yes. So, and from here on out, what I also would not do is he goes now for 2 starport and doesn't build any tanks, and versus lurkers I would never do that. I would always get tanks, because if there's a run by or a contain, it can always happen that you have a bad engagement. You need tanks. And also there's no how to say it, you cannot irradiate so many lurkers in time before he has Defiler. It's, if you want to be aggressive, you have to get tanks. What else was there? Yeah, that's what he's doing. You should also, if he goes like lurker openings in general, you should really be careful about your medic marine and not attack into barreled lurkers. If he comes to you, it's okay, you can take a few shots and then retreat, but you should not keep attacking into barreled lurkers. It's like siege tanks, it's suicide most of the time if he has that many. Yeah.
If it's like Ling Lurker, you can also throw 2-3 fire bats to your army. Pretty good against the Zerglings, saving your marines.
Maybe I never do that, but it's probably because of habit. I would probably rather spend the gas on tanks and vessels. So now, also what he never did, he has no idea how far the tag of a Zerg is. He's still on lair tag, so there was actually no need to be super aggressive. You could just like build up a tank count if you would go for that, and it would be fine. That's also the disadvantage. If he just goes for Mars Lurker with no tech, you can't do anything with Medic Marine only. And basically he lost the game, or he got really far behind because he had no idea what the Zerg was doing. And now he's basically just contained, and without tanks there's no getting out here. I think we can skip the rest. Zerg was a bit...
I have a question. Do you always get armor upgrade if you see that there's a lurker first?
Sometimes yes, but I'm also not quite sure. I usually just get +1 attack. But in some circumstances it might be good to get armor first, yeah.
The Zerg
Okay.
grew all his units and didn't really macro good. Also didn't go for the Ultralist.
Yeah,
and he has no carapace upgrade still.
yeah, the Zerg is not really good either. He basically just went for Mars Lurkers and just wanted to survive, I guess, and then wanted to bust him, but that failed. But he then eventually does get Defilers.
No, +2 attack against 0 carapace.
Wow, yeah. 0 carapace.
It's great for the turn.
Comparatively, he still does pretty good for not having the proper information. Does he win?
TvZ doesn't even build the Scourge. I think he didn't. Oh, well, he built.
No, he
I don't know.
realizes, yeah.
No Scourge, no Defiler, no Ultralisk. He's doing nothing, just Cracklings and
Light
some
Scourge,
Lurkers.
look.
Yeah.
No,
And the
no way he sent that. Oh yeah, I was like, no way he just sent the Scourge. Like,
The
blindly.
Terran is getting the science vessel energy upgrade. Is that something that you should get at
Yes,
some point?
when you have the money and you go SK Terran, you should get it.
Okay.
Every time I get the upgrade, I feel like I have infinity radiate once I have upgrade. I don't know why, but every time.
Well, it is good because you also get more starting energy, so
Yeah,
the vessels
that's
are
true.
almost always ready when they are new.
Oh, I didn't
He's
know
doing a
that.
good
you
job
had
irradiating.
higher starting.
Yeah, they start then with 62, I think, instead of 50.
Yeah, but he picks 5 Lurkers and 5 new ones come. It's really disgusting to push this without a tank.
Yeah, but I think actually he won. I didn't remember that.
Oh, not because.
Or not? Okay.
Yeah, that's how she said
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Just was the entire army. And now
But the
Ultra-
upgrades are just so good. He's like 2-2.
Yeah, the Zerg is throwing all. He has no gas for a lot of
Oh,
Ultralisk and Ultralisk upgrade.
Maybe
Yeah,
he won,
I think he won.
Yeah, yeah, he won. He won. No way. What?
Yeah, he
Yeah, he could just throw.
He
Yeah,
just
I think
had
the rank
a
was
much
always
better
tough.
macro than the Zerg, but strategy-wise he was really behind at the start.
It's
Like, I
one
don't
more
know how-
expansion than
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Zerg.
yeah.
So.
Pro. Yeah. I don't know how pros like max float like max 1k mineral doing SK. SK it's so easy to float mineral.
Yeah, you're right. I've floated.
I also
a lot
have
too,
a-
so.
an additional replay, but for later if you have time.
Hey guys, I have match tomorrow. Maybe we can watch.
Okay,
my
then
plays. Maybe.
take a look. What was yours? Link spam or?
It was you round.
Ah, you round. Okay, alrighty. Then let's go with that. Hatch Lurker.
I'm trying this time.
BBS 1 to 3 again. That's actually also a very good example for common mistakes.
Oh, you saw?
Yeah, I actually watched them to take some notes. What's like the worst mistakes or what you should look out for.
Okay, I see.
To have a more concise coaching session. So basically this game was like one Rax Expand versus 3 Hatch Lurker, but the third hatch was hidden. And Euron actually didn't expect it or didn't sense it. I don't actually know, because here he saw that the gas is building at like 240. And that's actually really late for a 2 hatch opening.
Yeah. Yeah, Lair should start like in
Yeah,
10 seconds
yeah.
or something if it was normal.
So I was wondering why you didn't scout for any hidden base. You saw in his main base there was no third hatchery. You also scouted the natural, saw no hatchery there, and when you progressed with your build, you seemingly understood that this gas was late because you never built, or you built turrets very late, or you attacked much quicker than I expected versus a 2-hatch build. But you never found the third base until like it was over.
I don't remember, but I thought that it's gonna be okay. The gas timing seemed normal.
Okay, no, it was late. If you don't see,
But why was it late? I felt like just low level.
yeah, but that's the mistake. You should never just think of your opponent.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I did that when I started ladder long time ago, and I got wrecked every time. I remember, oh wow, my opponent is bad, and then
But he didn't even build
He
it.
built it at the bottom left.
He built it.
Yeah,
Just,
you.
well, not
Yeah,
on
you are
the
right
gas.
in that respect. That he probably screwed up his gas timing, but he then thought, I have enough minerals. Let's build a third hatchery, and that will always be true. So you should check that. Around.
Yeah, I
What is
should
the
definitely
normal-
check every base.
Yeah.
That's
What's the
right.
normal timing for gas? So
I don't know the timing.
I know the
And
timing of the
I-
2 hatch layer, but not the gas timing exactly when.
Um,
But it should be done, almost done, I think, or done when you come.
Yeah, it should almost be done. It takes like 25 seconds to mine 100 gas. So if you calculate it back.
I was about to ask you, how do you know if he goes speed or layer first? But yeah, I wanted to ask the amount of time
Yeah.
that it takes. So if it's that guy, like, because I know, for example, a normal gas timing, it goes there between 245 and 250. But if he has late gas, I don't know to recognize if he goes layer first or speed first. But basically, as soon as he put drone on in gas, I count like 25 seconds. And if I see no layer, he goes speed first.
Yes, that's
That's
right.
right. Okay.
You should assume that at least.
I
Yeah.
think that's just too advanced stuff you're talking about right now.
I'll write down this timing because it's very.
Yeah, at 3 minutes he should build a layer with 2 hatch. And if he doesn't, it usually means speed. And then 20 seconds later he builds a layer. And then you can prepare by getting an early bunker. And in this case it is like a super non-standard what he did. His gas timing was like middle of the road. I suppose he...
Yeah, and he doesn't even have Hydra.
Yeah, that too is... He is kinda bad, but he still has the minerals, so he just gets a hatchery. And you have to scout for that.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
main
and...
problem. But
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying that after this game I started to check every base. For example, last CPL match I knew my opponent is gonna do something like this. I checked that and turned out I was right. He was sneaking some base.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's so risky to sneak a base like
Yeah,
that.
but
Especially this game, like he sneaked it like far away, I feel like opposite spawn, you know, from his base.
yeah, but it's a free win if he gets away with it. So there are not so little Zergs who do it. But what you should do right before his Zerglings arrive at your natural, you should just send out another SCV and scout every base, and I mean every base. Because who knows where he takes his base? Okay, what else was? Ah, yeah, I wanted to also... Right at the start, you scouted him first, so you went for an earlier CC than like standard, I would say. But you screw up your like optimization. Because now you get your CC at 15-16, which is normal, but you see that he went for 12 hatch, so you should not build the marine. You should instead get your supply depot at either 16 or 17. Mainly just get it earlier, because now you are hard supply blocked and you lose like a lot of SCVs basically.
Yeah.
I have a question. When you go for the 17 CC, can you skip the third depot, or do you still get it?
I usually get it. It's a choice you make. If you want to do a pre-Muta timing, you can also skip a few SCVs or Marines and get like Barracks, Refinery, Academy before your third depot. I usually do like the economic version, because I don't necessarily need to do that, because run-bys with links and so on are just too much of a headache for me. And I get the third depot right away at like 20 or 22 supply, and then I get my barracks, then the gas, then the academy.
And then the bunker after that?
Depends on how long my SCV lived.
Okay.
And how many Zerglings I scouted. If I scout more than 4, then I get a bunker as soon as my SCV dies. And then I have sometimes to cut a SCV or 2 to still have okay academy timing. Yeah, yeah. Also, yeah, you got this bunker very early, which you also should not do. You scouted like 2 links or 4 links, and if you don't see him move out with his links, you should not build a bunker. Just build Marines, because either a bunker with 1 Marine will also not help you much versus a run-by. So just prioritize Marine production first. Okay, now, but it's because you were supply blocked and you didn't have Marines, or you couldn't build any more Marines, you only have 1 now. Yeah.
Plus, he also saw like 2 pair, I think it's 2 pair of links. Actually, there's 3, but he saw 2 pair of links, and he saw that 1 left, you know, towards his base. So I think that's why he built the bunker. Also, he made a pair of links in the natural, and you round didn't see the...
Yeah, I think in this second you're right, actually. The bunker here was necessary because he couldn't build Marines.
Yeah, it's very sure. I think you have to, because you have to check both the base and the natural to see if it doesn't sneak some links in the natural, you know, and draw it to the
Yeah,
main.
my general
So-
approach is if I see not all links are chasing my SCV, I assume that he built links in the natural. And then I know, okay, there will be 5 Zerg links coming, and I have to block the natural with SCVs to make sure
Yeah.
that I survive.
But in my case, I tend to build the bunker too fast. Sometimes he makes like 4-6 Zergling, but he's just chasing my SCV.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should optimize the
yeah, it's probably more that you should optimize the earlier CC timing, that you have more Marines by the time he comes to you. So get the depot earlier before you build Marines. Yeah, and one other thing is that you don't build medics as soon as the academy finishes. And because you don't have a timing. You just walk out with pure Marines, and that in itself is usually suicide. When you could have in fact had a pretty strong timing, because his Lurker tech was also delayed.
Oh, you got Ranch first?
No, I think he already got Stim.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you just didn't.
Yeah, he just didn't build medics for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, I think to not use team.
And also, what you should do when you tech so fast, you should also take your second gas fast. I usually take my gas when I start the factory. But your timing was so early that you probably have to wait. Or you can take it a little bit later, like 50% done. But you really need it to have production, to be able to afford production from the starport and the factory. Oh yeah, and when you get busted or he tries to bust you and you are concentrating a lot on defeating it, it's very noticeable that you float a lot of money because you are not building anything. And the first thing you should do is, after building all your stuff, you should also check your supply count, because you can see your shortly before supply block. And if you have so much money, you started building everything from your production facilities and you still have money left, just build a couple of supply depots. It is actually not so bad if you overproduce some supply depots, because it's better than getting hard supply blocked. And if you float money because you missed a round or so, you can just build a supply depot. If you see you are remotely close to your limit.
Maybe it's what I should do to avoid supply block. Like building, not optimize that much supply depot timing, and build maybe one more or one every time, you know. Even though I have only like 2 racks. Because I have this problem many times, supply blocks.
Yeah, supply blocks cost you the game.
Yeah, it got SCV production, marine production, it costs so much. And once I get supply block,
Yeah,
like one time
for me, I solved the problem just when I got supply blocked once, then I just sent 2 SCVs and then constantly produce those supplies, maybe even with 3 SCVs.
Yeah,
the vessel is starting right now, but it could be like a minute ago if you hadn't the supply block.
Yeah, exactly. I have a supply block and maybe even...
Yeah, you also didn't have gas, you only have 1 tank, then you should have 3 already.
You had the gas before in the supply block as you finished the
Okay.
science facility, so and you already had one tank, so
You are actually a bit lucky here that he tries to bust you, because he would have taken a long time to move out otherwise.
Dog was too hasty, I think.
and now it costs many scans to kill this.
Actually, at this
Sometimes
game I
it's-
went armor first, but it doesn't matter because he did great for his attack.
Yeah,
Maybe it would have been better than just to make attack as usual,
I think it's only
or was
Yeah.
it
good to get armor if he's like going for a super aggressive style like 12 pool, 2 Hatch Lurker all in, where he has so early lurkers that you cannot help but be contained. In that case it's good because you cannot retreat any further, so you have to stand your ground. But if it's like a normal 2 Hatch build and you see everything, or you know what's going on, and you can push to his natural. If he goes there like for an economic style, it is probably better to get attack, because you can kill the lurkers faster and then you retreat a little bit and then you can attack again when he tries to push you.
All defiler ordinate. What the hell?
But from here on out, you're in a disadvantaged position, I think, and the main problem is just that you never scouted his third base.
Yeah, I was sure he doesn't.
Yeah,
have
that's what I noticed. You
every
kept
position.
scanning the bottom right, and then thought he doesn't have one, but that's an error.
Yeah, I think he kept saying it because he would be like, it would be so stupid to get this main right,
Yeah.
right? I think that's
Yeah.
why he didn't scan there, because I'm the same. You know, it's like same as Zerg does and Arthos' stream. They do the most risky stuff. Sometimes even put their base right next to his, like at his fur.
Yeah.
And you have to scout at least everything, like maybe send one marine, you know. It's what I do sometimes, because you can be really surprised by some Zerg. Send like one marine at one base, another at one base.
I would just use an SCV because they are faster and you
also that's true.
don't need it to fight. So from here on out, you basically are pretty dead, I would say. You have to be like really good to still win, because he has 4 bases and he's probably just waiting for Ultras.
But drop though. Oh, but it's the wrong evil.
But you should think about his, because you're dropping, you're seeing his base, and he's building so many lurkers and defilers just out from 2 gas. So maybe you should notice, okay, there's something strange in these games.
Yeah.
That's not something I struggle to realize. Like, how do you know? I struggle to know, like, for example, how much my opponent can have, even though, like, I killed maybe 4 lurkers. So sometimes I hesitate, you know, to attack. Whereas I should attack, and because I could straight up roll over my opponent.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to judge correctly.
Yes, yeah, estimating your.
Oh,
Oh,
your
no, no.
army! Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
the funny
god.
nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it's a thing I should, because if you know how to estimate like how much you can have at such timing on 2 base, then yeah, you instantly a pro knows. Every time I watch pro, they know something's up. Like they instantly scout, because, or even send straight up their army to the right base because they know something's up
Yeah.
based on the intel they gather. But I can't do that yet. Like I would pretty much be like you around. If I saw that, I would like, what? How can you have so much? But I think maybe it's normal. I don't know.
Yeah, it's simply something you have to work on. Starting with when you scout his late gas, just make sure that he doesn't have a hidden base, and then it will be much easier going into the late game.
I think you should check for a hidden base anyway. Like, even if the gas is perfect timing and everything else is perfect, just check that base.
Yeah, at least
Anyway.
if he doesn't have a base at the usual third location, he very likely has it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Don't just assume your opponent is bad.
Yeah, we can skip the
Yeah,
rest
yeah,
of
yeah.
this game. Maybe even leave the game because it's just nonsense. I just holding that base
Yeah,
for some reason.
then let's go to the next one, the Crazy Zerg 1. The same name, password. That's everyone, right?
I think Zone is, but his mic is muted.
Hmm?
Zone is here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, yeah, there's 6 people in the
While
Discord.
we were.
But Shiba's still streaming.
Yeah,
so
Shiba is
should be fine.
streaming.
Okay, so in this game,
I remember the stupid game. Yeah. It was the first time probably when I faced the Crazy Zerg in the ladder.
Ah,
lucky you.
and
Maybe.
he made like 20 sunken, right?
Yeah, it was like 20 sunken set his natural and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I love that your opponent is barcoded. C-rank barcode.
I remember I also faced that even in E-rank, and I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I can't break for sunken. And then you just send ultras, I moved these ultras, and then I lost. I was like, really?
Yeah,
was
now
so
I know
quick.
what to do, but still interesting what coach is gonna say.
Yeah.
That wall is
Yes.
inside, right?
It is.
It's one of the few maps where you can actually wall with one depot and one barracks.
I should think more about walling, to be honest.
Even top left?
I think so, yes, but the marine spawns on the spawns on the outside, I think.
Ah, okay.
Why? You build barracks at the bottom and maybe
Yeah,
slide
yeah.
it up?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not.
Should be fine.
Okay, so you are doing a pretty normal build, except for like the high ground CC, but it's fine, I would say. You can confuse some Zergs and he's forced to make a sunken because he doesn't know if it's Mech, but he didn't scout you anyway, so in that instance it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I blindly made sunken.
Yeah. But if you do the in-base CC, it doesn't matter against Zerg or Protoss. Even if you don't float it directly, you should start the SCV production from 2 CCs. Also in base.
Yeah, if he goes like for a 9 pull or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think you could build at least one SCV before you floated the CC now, and you had the supply.
Well, if there's no need to, I would float it immediately. But I never really thought about it. If I don't have to wait, why should I wait? So he goes.
Evil, the wild Spire.
Oh yeah, and you're doing here the same. You have academy, but you do not build medics,
Mm-hmm.
and that seemed to be consistent.
Yeah, that's a leak. Which I should fix.
Yeah, fast make 2 medics.
Mhm.
Yeah, usually.
Important because they are getting energy.
Yeah, that too. And usually you just have the right amount of gas that when you start mining, when you start your academy, you have enough gas for 2 comsats, stim, and 2 medics. So you should just build 2 medics.
Yeah, and if mutas come in and your medics are late and you're trying to hunt the mutas around your bases and stimming, you will very fast get out of energy. And then the mutas will pick up your marines so easy.
It's Muta.
Yeah. Yeah, his mutas are not on time. But one thing you should also know, if he didn't make any links, like besides 2 or 4, he will have a third base by the time mutas are coming. That's always something you should keep in mind. Or he will have a third hatch, let's put it that way. Sometimes some crazy Zerg players put it in base because they know they can't keep their third usually, and they wait until they have ultras to get a third base. But not in this case. And
I probably should know about Crazy Zerg now, maybe, if I see the evolution chamber now.
yeah, if you scan the evolution chamber and such an early evolution chamber, it's very likely Crazy Zerg.
I think the previous game Zerg also got evolution chamber pretty early to get the attack upgrade. But I'm not sure. Anyway, what should I do at this point when I scouted that there's...
You should check for his third and kill it. Simple as that. And you should also build 1-2 turrets at your barracks side. Because if he can camp that with 11 mutas, you are pretty done. You're lucky here because he even skipped on mutas. He only built 4.
Right.
And here you are doing, or you started doing a pretty decent job by using an SAV to scout some bases, and you use your army to also do that. But
Why did you fall back with the army?
Now.
Didn't you see the... It felt like you pushing towards his third, but you turned away.
I did not
no,
know
he never found it.
Okay.
Yeah, I never knew, even after I watched the replay.
But that's...
I just now find out.
Yeah, but it's actually a pretty common sport. Either they take one of the corners or they take the closest base. And you should use a couple of scans to scan his main, to see his tech advantage, and some scans to check like the remote corners. And then if you know he isn't in the remote corners, you can just use your army. And because I usually do it that way, when I move out, I move to his main or to his natural, because I don't know where his third is at the moment, and I scan the corners, and if they aren't there, it's a close third, and then my army is almost there already, so I don't lose time.
It's crazy that she just skipped mutas like that. I think his ultra would be very fast.
Yeah, you should think about, you scanned him, no Hydralist then, he's not producing more mutas than 4. No Zerglings, no Lurkers.
Yeah, but the real problem is that he didn't scout every base for his third. Because he could have busted it all the time.
Yes.
And what you should also do when you scan a fast hive, you should tech quicker.
Yeah, and maybe I was thinking maybe getting some dropship worked out, especially since the Zerg doesn't build any unit.
Yeah, you can build a dropship, and you could start a tank all the time, the factory standing there to push Sunkens to get time. You can push,
crazies.
For example, the third base and drop at the same time in his main base before he has...
Versus Crazy Zerg, I would not get tanks. They are simply not fast enough. Because he has like a lot of Sunkens, and you have like 2 tanks. If you push with 2 tanks, he will still have ultras ready in time. I would just get Mars vessels, and if you were not able to bust him anywhere, retreat and wait for like a +2 attack timing, and that's like your only hope to kill him. Other than that, you are in a pretty bad position, because he will be able to get more bases, take to Defiler, and then it's just very hard. drops can work, but it's also a little bit of a gamble. At least if you can do it, I guess it's fine. But at a higher level, they will have Scourge, and they will save a couple of Muta to deal with any incoming drop.
That's also what you can do if you do it a bit earlier. If you see he's not producing like units with 1/1 +1 attack +1 armor and a lot of marines, you can just try to bust Sunkens like 5-6. But it was too late now.
Yeah. And you don't have a natural gas. Basically, you are dead now. Because
yeah, you're building the third CC before the second gas.
Wow, what a terrible games.
and he has like so much money that will just be spent on ultras.
Oh! And you're mining gas in the main with just 2 SCVs.
Ah, yeah, that's...
Yeah, not your best game.
A big lack of gas in this game.
Yeah, I think we can skip the rest.
I mean, we're supposed to show bad games.
No, it's okay. It
Other
shows
games are perfect.
where you should improve. And for you, it seems like you need to find the third base. And
yeah, recently I started to find those. Okay, who are we gonna watch next?
Another game of his, another Crazy Zerg. There was also some stuff.
Wait, there's another
Yeah,
game
you
of me?
uploaded 2 Crazy Zerg games.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's Shakuras again, it's not the same.
Shakuras.
Yeah, are you
It's
sure
not
it's
the
not the same? Okay. Let's...
Shiba, you are Knusper Zergling, right?
Yes,
What a great name.
great name.
Ah, yeah, this game was better.
Ah, yeah, you won that one. Yeah, but you did still some mistakes that are worth mentioning.
I think I put this out because just to show maybe what to do against Crazy Zerg. Actually, this game was before the first one.
I don't know, it's number
Chronologically.
2, so...
Yeah, I numbered it intentionally
Okay.
like this, but chronologically this game was before. But no.
Yeah, what
matter.
I didn't like here is you went for a really early CC even though you had no information whatsoever. You were just lucky that you went 12 Hatch. And you built immediately a bunker, even though he built he went 12 Hatch, your cross position, and you already had, or your depot timing was better. And you see he's just making links now, but you already have a finished bunker, so it's in this case it's really a waste of money.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just noticed, I didn't even see the third hatch, but I knew there was the third one because I was like, wait, what is gas is
Yeah.
right. That's exactly
Yeah.
the first
Here you went just straight up free Hatch
game scenario.
before gas.
Is the bunker positioning better?
I would maybe shift it
Early?
a little bit to the left to cover the left edge, because still links can run in and snipe like the SCV that is mining like this little pile, and you don't want to have to do more than you have to, so I would just place it 1 or 2 tiles left, probably 2 tiles, because you can still narrow the gap with a depot, and then you will still have only a 1 gap to defend, and you will cover everything at your mineral line. Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional, but I had a note here that you took your gas too early. But you seem to have realized it when you took it.
What do you mean by too early?
You took it.
Like
You took it now, but you don't have a second barracks. And then you start the barracks, and then you don't mine gas. So I assume you realized your mistake and waited with mining gas until you started your academy, which is like what you should do. Okay.
I was just, forgot about mining, like in the second game. I did as well.
Okay, so...
And I didn't scout this third base.
Yeah, and you also... Your academy was pretty late. Because of macro issues and the early bunker, I suppose. And you also don't build medics. You shouldn't get the factory that early. Or, well, maybe you should, because you just floated a lot of money, I guess. You just didn't build barracks units. And your turret placement needs some work. Also at the main, first of all, cover your barracks with turrets, but also the 3 turrets next to the CC are not well positioned. You should really put them right in your manual line, like one below the comset, one above the comset, and then you're safe. Because these turrets versus a more skilled player who can micro mutas, he will just kill all your SCVs and the turrets will not attack them.
So at the natural, a good Zerg can snipe the SCVs. You would need 2 groups of Marines, one at the high ground and one behind the mineral to save
the
them.
turrets now, they are fine, and yeah, you make a lot of turrets. Yeah,
That's too much now.
Yeah, I was hearing you.
Ah, yeah, and you took your gas
Yeah.
at the natural at the right time, but you never put, or very late put 3 SCVs on it.
God damn it.
I think the timing is if you start the factory and then the gas, the gas builds faster than the factory, but when the factory finishes, you can at least check that. You can maybe make a mental note that you should then put guys on gas.
Now you see again, he come with 6 muta and now come again with 6 muta.
Oof, he's losing every muta. Wow. It's a free, like, I think you can push, right? Yeah, you were about to push.
So he's
Yeah.
not gonna make more
Okay.
mutalisk, you know that now?
Yeah, he just straight up skipped muta. Like, he made the initial 6 muta, then he made 1 more. And yeah, time to put sunken, I guess.
Yeah, I think you still didn't know about the third.
I was thinking that the drone is his
It's
third.
also very hard on Shakuras that third positions. It's hard to engage with Marines without tanks because that small entrance.
Yeah.
Yes, but if he doesn't have any units, he needs a lot of summons. So...
And does it worth it maybe to kill some and back up to heal with magics? So,
Now I
No,
see
I
this.
would just wait until you have enough to really bust it.
okay. Because I feel like if he goes crazy Zerg... Oh no, never mind, maybe not. I was about to say you would just have Ultras by the time you have enough unit, but maybe not actually.
If he loses his mutas like that, he doesn't. He needs like 10 Sunkens. And also, just a small tip, when you go to drop something, you can use shift move back to automatically send your dropship back if he finishes unloading.
Yes.
Oh, that's a thing I should do.
But where's your tank?
He got cuffed by his
Yeah.
own.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
stupid
it's
Zerglings.
great. You dropping the main, like I said in the game behind the last game, and you would have now 2 tanks at the same time to snipe Sunkens.
Yeah,
And that takes the Zerg under pressure a lot.
But you are actually really lucky that you sniped his Ultra Cabin before his armor finishes, because if you wouldn't...
He still made 7 ultras before.
he cancelled it. But it doesn't matter, I think. No?
Yeah.
He left the game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he left, but he would have 7 ultra.
Yeah, that's exactly what 7.
Yeah, but that's what I
Wow.
was gonna say.
It would be.
With the Carapace upgrade, he could have just overrun you, I think. Because you...
Yeah, but without upgrade, even
I mean,
those
also
3 Marines.
without. If he comes with 7 ultra, add some Zerglings, he could at least kill your army now. It's like 1 group of Marines and a tank.
Yeah, it's still a game, I think.
Yeah, he resigned a little bit early,
Would have
but
been.
he was behind, I think, at that point.
Yeah, of course he was behind. That's true.
Yeah, okay, that was it for your games.
So I think I always should get dropship even this late. It always gets some job done, especially when Zerg is greedy and doesn't make units.
Yeah. I think it's fine until you hit like A or so. Then they will have Scourge and then it's another story.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, also you have to check where the dropship is flying. I think you you were flying over his Sunkens or something. He spotted that dropship really early and moved the Zerglings.
Yeah, he did. If he had Scourges, then the dropship could have been sniped.
Alrighty, then let's go to the Theseus games. Same name and password. So you went 5 Fac go live in every game, or try to, I guess. And we will take a look at like 2 of the 3, because one is very similar to this one here. And yeah. So it's pretty standard so far. Yeah, what I wouldn't do is you cancel the SCV to get the factory done sooner, but you should only cancel the Marine if you see no aggression and keep building the SCV. Just a little more optimal. And you also build a second Marine, which you also don't need. Usually you just need 1 Marine. You would, or I would only build more Marines if he builds like 6 Zerglings and really is planning to attack you. But if he just builds a couple to chase your SCV, then 2 Marines is overkill. And what I didn't really understand was like this constant vulture production, because it's a waste of money, in my opinion. After like 2 versus a 2 hatch opening, there's like no way you can achieve anything if Zerg walls properly and has a sunken in time. And that delays like your armory a bit, and you don't build SCVs enough. You should have constant SCV production until you have.
So only 2?
Yeah, at most. I would only build 1 until I see he tries to kill me with speedlings or something, and then I make reactively a bunker and build a couple more vultures. But other than that, I only build 1. For versus 2 hatch Muta, of course. Versus 3 hatch, I would get like 2 or 3 vultures with mines to make sure I don't die to Mars Hydra. But versus 2 hatch, Muta timing is too fast, so I just go straight into Goliath after 1 vulture.
Yeah, maybe I think the game that I watched, or the build order from Flash was
it's
probably
Flash,
versus 3 hatch then, where I got the 3
maybe,
vultures.
but I would have to watch the VOD honestly, because I don't remember seeing anyone ever going for vulture without an add-on. Because
3. 4 was just...
Or 3, because it's just, you don't have mines, you don't get speed, they are pretty useless at that stage.
Yeah, Flash just used basically in the guy. Flash just used it was 3 hatch opening, and it got 3 vulture. But he said basically if you want to be a little poke inside and maybe be a little bit aggressive, I think you get 3 vulture. Then you get armory, something like that. There's a story with the Depot and armory timing on the vulture, I think. There's something like that. But yeah, you have to watch the guide basically.
Okay.
It's on YouTube, so with translation. And yeah.
But can you get vulture mines upgrade before the Goliath range?
You can, but you have very few Goliaths and you have to build a lot of turrets versus 2 hatch Muta.
Yeah, I mean
versus 3 hatch I would always get mines.
Okay.
Because 3 hatch Hydra is really strong.
A 3 hatch Muta, you don't even think about this build.
Well, I would prepare like usual for 3 hatch Muta, but I am afraid of 3 hatch Hydra. If I go Mech.
You don't know what
exactly, so you just have to preemptively get mines and place them in the path between you and him, so that you are safe.
So you will be fine.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's.
But against 2 hatch, you don't get
yes,
mines.
Usually
right?
I don't. It's because the tech timing is simply too fast, and yeah, and mutas would become stronger, and you would also see. I think the most dangerous thing is like speedlings, and they will be so fast that your mines aren't even done, I think, at the time. So why bother? Just get a bunker if you see your vultures being surrounded by tendlings and killed, and be prepared for it. Let's put it that way. Like, pull your SCVs, get 1-2 extra marines, maybe get extra vultures if your Goliaths just started or something like that, to be able to handle it. But don't neglect to get turrets in time, because usually they just build like a couple of links to pressure you, but they will still get mutas on time, and if you don't then have turrets, you're pretty screwed. Okay,
and so you're saying I should normally just get 1 vulture. I think I just got addicted to it because I won like 1/4 of my games with just the vultures.
Yeah, I can imagine, but it doesn't work on higher levels. As you can see, this Zerg here has a pretty nice wall. And I saw in one other game that I won't show that you tried to run in even though his ramp was blocked and you just wasted your vultures for nothing.
Yeah, so the just one vulture should be enough.
If you see then that he has speedlings, and if you can, try to save your vulture or delay him killing your vulture as long as possible. You get a bunker in the meantime, and depending on how many links he has, build vultures or just keep making Goliaths. What I wanted to the actual game, what I wanted to make you aware of. When he gets with his Muta to your base, you should notice that he only has 3s. And that usually means either he mass drones or he gets Hydras really early. And that means you can either push out earlier with like 6 Goliaths, or you get tanks earlier.
You saw the Hydra.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah, I saw.
In this case, you even saw the Hydra, so you should make a tank. And what is also very important, you need to get siege mode, because on low ground, unsieged tanks are still not very good versus Hydras.
Yeah, I noticed this in this game.
And you could have held it, but your positioning is also not the best. You should try to place your Goliath in a concave and even retreat them like next to your CC, like 3-4 tiles above, so that he has to get into the choke between the barracks and the cliff, so that you have more firepower than him, and just let him attack your barracks and stall until you have siege mode. But in this case you don't get it, so it's a pretty lost cause here.
I also have
and the only thing preventing him from overrunning you is you have siege mode and you are just much more cost effective than him. Otherwise he can just rally to your natural and you are done.
So the most important thing is to get siege mode as fast.
Yeah, if you see he has so many Hydras so early on, get siege mode.
Yeah, I think I wanted to, and then I didn't have the gas, and then I forgot.
Yeah, and one other thing, your turret placement in your natural, you should place it. You should place the turrets like right below the gas. There is a much better spot to protect your SCVs. In the natural.
In the main, right next, in the natural. Oh, okay.
Because he was harassing the.
So the left side.
Well, right below the gas and one tile to the left, I would place them.
Okay.
Because he was harassing there and you didn't have any anti-air. Okay. So, and the other game is also Mech, but there your opponent actually goes for Mass Muta. Replay is open.
Yep, and Bird.
Okay, the beginning is pretty much the same, I would say. You again build 2 Marines, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, his lair's a little bit delayed, but yeah. Yeah, you build 2 Marines and you build a lot of Vultures. In this case, this sunken was a bit late. I don't know if you know this trick, but usually you should not patrol micro the whole time because you need to macro in between. And what you should do is do some patrol moves and then move like in a faraway corner of the main and do your macro stuff. So you have time for that, and then you can go back to your Vulture and continue patrol microing.
So like when I'm moving a
exactly
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's better to just have a Vulture somewhere instead of just letting it die, and you still get to macro in between, so it's very nice.
If I see that the sunken is late and I run 1 Vulture in, would it be okay maybe to get a second?
Yes, I would. In that case, I would always get a second because you need to know what is at the front.
Okay.
That Zerg is getting burrow.
Yeah, you will see. He sees every time I move out and then it backstacks.
He's hiding links all over the map.
At least in front of my base.
And what I also didn't understand, you build a bunker here, which you don't need.
Yeah, it's very late.
Yeah.
And even 3 Marines you build, yeah. You have, as long as you have Vultures at the front, you should not do that. It's just waste of money. And you also see the third hatchery at the naturals, so you don't have to worry about a third somewhere. You can just focus on defending your main and natural from harassment. And I would also, if you have 2 Vultures at the front, I would just only leave 1 there and send the other one somewhere scouting some bases or so, because otherwise you will just lose both Vultures to the Mutas.
Or you split them and go a bit back, 1 behind the bridge, 1 on the top or something. So you have both ways covered.
You actually got mines.
But if you're too close, yeah, he will pick it because he see it.
I don't know why I thought he was going Hydras.
But that's okay, you at least carry the Mutas off the bottom of the map.
Yeah, I think because I saw 3 hatch, I thought I should get mines, but yeah.
What I'm wondering is why you have so little gas. Even usually you don't get the gas at the natural before you start your 3rd factory. Usually that's the timing when you get your gas. Like start 3rd factory, then get the natural gas. I suppose you don't have a gas because you got mines.
I think that's the reason. I mean, the turret died.
Yeah, that was exactly the position.
Just a little bit about.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can float your barracks behind the natural mineral line to see the Mutas much earlier. If you have glide range, they can shoot before.
Or you can, or what I also usually do, you can use the floating buildings to cover your SCVs so that you cannot target them.
Yeah, also this is possible.
Oh, I've never done that. Yeah. I'm gonna try that out.
Yeah, and in general, you get your Goliath range really late. I guess in this case it was also because you got mines. But I would get range versus 2H Muta before even the armor upgrade, so that you just take much less damage versus the initial Mutas.
Yeah, I think that wasn't possible because I built too many Vultures, but and then next time I will do that.
Okay, yeah, okay, there's a neat little trick with the burrow. So he knows when you are moving out. in general, you saw that he has quite a few mutas. So when you move out, you should build more turrets, and which you did in the main, and you should actually move back to defend with everything, because you know that he cannot have such an early third, so he does not care nearly as much about it as killing your economy. So this counter-attack you are doing here is a mistake.
Yeah, I can see how many mutas that is.
Yeah, in that case it is just more important to just stay alive. And also this Spire targeting you did was not really worth it, because if you have to trade your army for it, don't do it. Because by the time you have an army again, he has the Spire, and then he can just make mutas from 3 lavas per hatchery, and he has the same amount of army as he had before. If he still did have a Spire, basically. Or almost as much.
Yeah,
and then can save lava at the right timing shortly before his Spire is done, and then he has almost as much army as before. So it's not really worth it to kill the Spire. And basically at this point you're pretty behind, I would say. It is really important versus Mars Muta style to keep massing up, basically, and to prevent counter attacks.
So should I just not attack as much, only when I have a...
You can move out if you have +1, but you don't have to if you see the third hatchery at his natural. Then the third is not so early.
Okay.
And it's okay to stay back a little bit and just see if he goes, like, if he has 11 mutas, I would be more careful with moving out, or be more ready to move back to defend. Simply because his economy can't be so good. So it's better to save your own. And what you also should not do here is, like, you try to bust him here, but you should just wait for your tanks to kill the Sunkens, because the Goliaths are all you have to defend versus Muta. And he's obviously building more Mutas at home, so he doesn't really have to rely fully on, like, his Muta at your main.
Yeah.
So you're making it a little bit easier for him to defend this counter attack push, or like his push, your push. Yeah, and that's basically it. Yeah. Okay. Then we have only 2 more games. Same name. What is interesting is that no Zerg actually played like super standard. They all went either crazy Zerg or Lurkers. Maybe.
And that's why we bring them.
So this game is 1 Rax Expand versus 3 Hatch Lurker.
Funny that he sent his Overlord there, because on Fighting Spirit it's a normal pathing, but you do have to reverse it, like reverse the normal pathing, scout pathing in Polyploid. It's for you it's clockwise and yeah, it's clockwise, and for me it's counterclockwise. I got confused at first, but yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, that can also happen, yeah. But sometimes you screw it just up like that. But it happens to me also when I SCV scout and I want to scout the Overlord and I scout in the wrong direction sometimes.
Yeah. The advantage is if on Polyploid you can easily scout, like if you scout clockwise, so just undersim to the third. Not the third, but the fourth base actually. You know, like the top and bottom one. Or falls on the right side and left side. And
oh yeah. Okay, no, I know what you.
Of course, if he scouts properly.
Yeah, that's another zone game. He again has not the best bunker positioning. Closer to the CC is better.
Oof, that's a lot. I didn't even see. That's a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, and
with this one, yeah,
what also was wrong here is he got too many depots too early, and his academy is super late. And that's actually a good example why this bunker placement is bad, because he doesn't have a narrow entrance. And the bunker is exposed, and you actually cannot get, or barely can get SCVs in time to defend it. So
I'm surprised that all the Zerglings died.
yeah, but it was probably also not the best micro from the Zerg.
Yeah, but the Zerg has a very, very bad economy now.
Yeah.
12 drones.
Yeah, also I have to. I don't know if you pay attention to how many SCVs you are transferring, but you should not transfer too many, because that really hurts your economy if you like just send 12 to mine at the natural. And zone here transferred like pretty a lot, like 10 or something. And it's way too much. And now at this main there are only 6 SCVs mining minerals, 7 SCVs mining minerals. And you should avoid that. With 1 Rax Expand, it's enough to have 7 SCVs or 8 SCVs starting to mine. So the Zerg goes Lurkers and links.
Yeah, he did put his fire bed in the bunker. Would be a good counter. But he's still on 12 drones, so...
Yeah, he is pretty all in.
Like if the Zerg just ignored the bunker, he would have probably already won the game.
Yeah.
Just run through 2 times.
But he didn't
He scanned the main and
base?
saw its lurkers, that's why he building like
Okay.
4 bunkers. Now he scans
Okay.
again, sees...
But the turrets... Ah, now the turret's coming, okay.
He's actually not doing bad in this game.
I think one of my opponent did the same thing. It's funny. He just went pure all in and cheesy. I was so upset. Like, because it's so hard to hold all-ins or cheese some cheese.
Yeah, it's if you don't exactly know how to do it, it's hard, yeah.
The issue on ladder is a lot of people tend to choose easy stuff, you know, and all in and cheese are easy to do, so I just take it. And yeah, you know, like playing against cheese, I don't mind that, but when it's like someday it's like 70-80% of your game, you just cross people who goes all in all the time. Or
Yeah.
it's really
So
annoying.
what other thing is noteworthy? He's scanned multiple times this front, but he was not ready to actually push, so it's basically a wasted scan because he already knew that the lockers are there. So he should rather save it when he actually want to push out, so he can make some headway before his vessel is done, for example. It's a klein.
Holy fuck, this range.
Now he should just unsiege the tank and push.
Yes.
Because the Zerg can't do anything against the tank vessel push. But if he sieges all the time, he loses a lot of time.
Pure locker openings, it's actually a really good method to push fast. But he should actually build more tanks. He only built 1 tank. Versus Lurker, always build tanks. He transitions a little bit too fast to SK Terran, for my liking.
Unsiege tank
Yes.
outranges the lurker, right?
Yes.
So that's what you can do.
And now, yeah, you need the irradiate for the defilers.
Yeah. And what is also a problem is that the zone does not look for the 3rd base. Even if the Zerg was all in previously, at some point he will have the money to get a new hatchery, and he has actually plenty of money. So you should at least confirm where the 3rd is, and maybe if you're lucky you can kill it because it's too late. It's late and he doesn't have a Nihilus up yet. But that's actually the way to win TvZ. Contain him to 2 bases if possible, or 3 bases. And I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about this game. I think he wins though because his macro is just much better, and the Zerg was pretty all in from the early game. Or does he lose because he doesn't look for the 3rd? I forgot.
And he's not reproducing tanks, but...
Yeah, he has a lot of money, that's an issue.
Oh, Eraser.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you have, for example, if you have such a big army, and the only thing Zerg has to not die is Defiler and like 2 Lurkers, you should also split your army up so that you contain his natural and his third base, so that you can expand more freely and you don't have to worry about backstabs and some rogue Defiler somewhere being a pain. Because he can only really move out when he has Ultras.
I think
Yeah,
Zerg is dead.
Yeah, we will push now.
Yeah, when was it?
Well, with AFK? What? I was confused. He didn't move and use any Defiler.
There's only 25
Yeah,
drones.
well, he was really far behind from the early game.
GG.
Oh yeah, and the last one is a fast one. Same name?
Oh, it's mine. There was another one I linked into the on the Discord Terran strategy. I think it's not a long one as well. I won pretty well, I think, but I still wanted some advice what I could improve. Because this game was terrible for me, but the other game was better. But I think there are still some stuff I could improve.
Yeah.
And I wanted to advise on the second game I dropped on the Discord because he did something I didn't expect. I managed to handle it, but I feel like maybe it was risky, so I wanted to...
Okay, I will take a look after that one. So here it's a rather unusual build from the Zerg. It's 11 pool. That
Oh, it didn't...
Huh? Oh, it was 11 pool, I think. The more usual one is 12 pool, but it's a very slight difference. And that is like the fastest possible attack, basically, which Zerg can do, which is like still a macro build, I would say, and not something like one Hatch Lurker. And you saw a lot of links with your SCV, I think, and you also blocked your ramp, but you did not block it well enough. Yeah, you saw like 6 links, which is like...
it was enough. Then I saw additional links like these 2 more.
Yeah,
that
it's
will catch my
enough to
SCV.
see not the lair.
Yeah,
He's not doing the lair.
Also, yeah. I think I didn't pay attention to the gas timing this game, I'm not sure. I should have, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but it's okay. So here you block it, but you also should pay attention to your marine positioning. Either you pull 1-2 more SCVs, or you position your marines right behind your SCVs so that when the SCVs die, the links cannot just surround your marines. That was here a problem.
Yeah.
Because after he kills that one SCV, he can just run in and surround your marines. You're lucky that he's a little bit bad on the micro side, but it...
Yeah, I think I would have died if it was like a high level player. I would have already died right there. I knew through a CV I felt like it was very risky.
Yeah,
only 2.
I would have pulled more after I saw more than 6 links.
Should the Marines just be on hold position there then, behind the SCV?
Yes, very close at the choke, so they can shoot early when the links enter the choke. They were too far behind some Marines. They didn't shoot instant.
And you can also group the Marines with the SCVs, right, and then hit hold position so they all stay at the same place. Or...
exactly. That's what I've done this game, but yeah, I think I didn't have enough.
Yeah, and also you really should be aware of possible follow-up run-bys or all-ins, because you saw so many links, it's very likely he tries again. So you should block the ramp.
Ah, yeah. You know that I think I wanted to block the ramp, but I was like, I don't think he's gonna send another wave, and he did. And I was so pissed when I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, really, man? You're just gonna do that?
It happens to everyone.
And thanks God I had fire bats. Also, I should have just put some more, like, 2 marine or 3 marine.
It's risky because you don't know if there aren't more links waiting outside. What I would actually do is only to take like 1 or 2 marines.
Oh yeah, this one I just put half a marine out.
But it's kind of risky because he can just run by again. So when I am not completely tilting, I completely block the way to the ramp. So I put SCVs between, like in this case, the bunker and the depot, so that he cannot run by again. And then I try to hold position them also, and so that I'm safe. And then I try to slowly take care of the links in my main. If there are too many, then you are pretty screwed.
I love that you had.
Yeah, but sometimes the timings are really strong, and you know exactly what's coming, and still sometimes 2 links make it in, and you don't block the follow-up wave of 12 links, and then you're suddenly dead.
Also, I just realized that I should have also... It's the thing I always struggle, it's to put the bunker properly, because I know above the bunker there is the 8 gap, you know, 8 pixel gap. I should have put like the bunker below, at the right where the depot is, and the depot above, I think, and fill the gap with marines, because also the bunker will be closer to the CC. So if we try... Right now we can just send Zerg, you know, on the right side. And I would have to move all my marine or get out of the bunker.
Yeah, it's in this case, although I can understand it, because you didn't know if there are immediately more links coming, so it's kind of risky to build the bunker further away from the ramp.
Ah, yeah, also true, yeah.
It's probably best to maybe send 2 SCVs, 1 to build the bunker and 1 to scout just in front of your natural if there are more links. And if there are a lot of links, then you have no choice. Yeah, but other than that, you should build the bunker where your depot is right now, or 1 more.
But it's a miracle that I managed to expand, because like 1 year or 2 years ago, every time my opponent were doing 9 pool or something close to that, I just didn't know when could I go down. I was like, I'm just going to die to speed, all in speed, but every time they just expand after 9 pool, and then I was so far behind because my expansion was just way too late, or I was just doing a 1 base play and it was not optimal.
Yeah, but when they really go 9 pool speed, I go 1 base play too, because I also don't know what is going on. And if they didn't commit with their initial links to kill a couple of SCVs, I have no way of knowing how many links are waiting for me. So I just go to Rax Academy on 1 base and tech, and then they have to invest into defending, and it's relatively easy to not die. And then eventually you take an expansion, because he also has to prepare versus like your medic marine attack when he barely has any drones, because he also started like with 9 pool speed, so he doesn't have that much.
Also should make some marine out of the bunker. I'm always scared that he backstabs, so because I know there's some overlord, you know. So I know he can see my army, so I'm almost scared that he backstab, and once it saved me more than once that still having marines in bunker, you know, when I go out. But in this case, I think I should have at least like put at least the closest bunker like to the ramp. I should have put those marines maybe out to have an educational group. Oh. I don't remember exactly how did it go this game, to be honest. I think my memory just wanted to erase this game after I was so pissed. Because initially I think I named this or something. Like I was so angry. Every time I lose to someone like that, I renamed it afterward. But yeah, initially before you saw it, I just
you scanned the third base.
I don't know.
Think. No, he only
looks like this.
No, I think I didn't. Because I didn't attack this base, right? Or no, I think I knew he had this base, but I was scared because I thought he already had Lurker, like close to the ramp. For some reason, I didn't dare to just send one marine to see if there was Lurker. Yeah. It was a big mistake right there because I could have just killed his third. And right there, I wanted to kill this Ovi because I knew it was like a scout, you know. But I still like 4 marine or 8 marine bunker. Ah, yeah, okay, I remember now. I remember what will happen. I remember what will happen now. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
did I preemptively make turret or not? Because I know sometimes I feel this stuff, you know. I knew something was going on, you know, but I was not sure what.
Yeah, it's...
If you see Overlord speed, then you can...
I don't know, did you see that he has speed? I think he got it later. Then...
Yeah, he just finished it.
I finished it like 20 seconds ago. Before, like, his load.
The one thing that is maybe a tell is that he still didn't get Hive. That you could assume that maybe it's drop. It's always something you have to have in mind, that he might go for drops if he doesn't have anything at your front, for example, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
For someone who went lurkers.
But I don't know, I felt like it was drop, but I didn't dare to put turret because it's an optimal, maybe not put turret, and then I regret it so hard. You can see I reacted instantly, like, even before the locker was burrowed.
Yeah, and in...
Except I threw those marines away. At the same time I attacked at the front, I don't know what I'm doing with those marines.
That's actually, you should just continue pushing, because I think you saw that his hive is super late, so you actually have a real shot to busting him. And just...
And I should pull out
and
those,
the good thing is, well, you have to evacuate your SCVs, but you can just build a tank and a vessel and then move to these lurkers and forget about them because they will die eventually. Because the tanks outrange the lurkers, so you can just concentrate on your push.
I think right there I stopped looking at what was happening.
A bit
right
bad.
there I was
running back with the marines.
Yeah, but right now I was not paying attention to what was happening. I was focusing on macroing and doing that stuff. And when I came back and I saw all my army was dead, I was really... All those marines, magic, plus tanks, they died. And it's when I watch the replay.
Yeah, just focus on the push and try to kill him.
And that here was like a suicide.
Yeah.
And you also should keep your army together. I noticed that you had like a control group like right outside your natural, near this overlord, near your main. And you could have had much more stuff to actually push with.
Yeah.
Even the marines you newly built, you can just send to your push because you can just use the tank and one vessel to clean up the lurkers, or tanks and the vessel to clean up the lurkers, because your marines will not do anything there.
Yeah.
So it's...
I thought
the lurkers can't push even, because you have the tank and the choke and the bunkers were still filled with marines. So you could just call for your attack. Yeah.
Like, I felt like I needed to kill those lurkers fast because But so as I don't know why I didn't just use the tanks instead of sending like 2 group of Marines, but just
Yeah, you just have to keep in mind that the Marines won't actually kill the Lurkers. And then you know, okay, you just have no choice to just wait until you have tanks to clean up the Lurkers and just continue your push then. Concentrate on that and slowly kill the Lurkers with tanks. Because 4 Lurkers in that position, you will not kill with Medic Marine.
If you fear Lurker, backstab or drop or something and you leave your base, you can also just let 1 tank siege mode at the bunkers.
Yeah.
If you want to be more
I think
safe.
in that case I should have met turret as well, because I knew he had drop, so I should have straight up made turret. Also, you see that I was so pissed about this overlord like above that I rejected. I even built a Wraith, but I don't know why I didn't use the Wraith, I just straight up rejected. I wanted so bad to kill it. I even steamed my Marines at one point. But I couldn't reach him.
Just keep in mind that turrets will actually not prevent the drop. You have to have either a tank or a bunker and a tank in your Mariners. If you suspect something like that,
Yeah.
I guess you should probably suspect it often if you don't see like usual hive timing and later hive timing. You should just have a bunker in your main also, just to be safe versus that, because 4 Marines doesn't weaken your push that much, but it helps a lot versus Lurker drops.
Also, I realized I heard the drop, but I didn't. I was not sure I heard it for some reason. Like I had the natural, the last drop with Zerglings. I don't know. Like I heard the sound, but then I looked away, thinking it was like around the the middle of the map, because I switched quickly of the screen, So I thought it was the sound of his like 20 OV that he sent with his army, and 1 dropped because I irradiated one of them. And then I came back to my natural like 30 seconds away, and I lost all my SCVs at natural. And you can even see that it's so. You see, it pissed me off so much, even as the second overlord that is filled. Like it didn't even properly drop, and that was so painful. I was so angry. I was so angry, man, at this game. And then I realized I could have just straight up kill his third.
Yeah, it was in a couple of games.
Yeah, it's the last game. I just sent it on the Discord, and yeah, it was on Chakura. So basically, I don't know why. I think it did exactly like the sum of the mistake he did. It was what was it you played on the video? The CPL tutorial that you uploaded. I even commented it when I thought you were dead, and you won because the Zerg overextended with his Lurker, and you used your tanks to kill his Lurker, and I can't remember the name. He's famous, this guy.
I think someone said it was Zerg, but I don't know. And he is famous for cheesing.
It was not Zerg, it was someone else, but yeah. Anyway, this Zerg, he overextended, and the Zerg here, he did the same mistake, I think. He also overextended. But the thing is, I didn't know how to react, so at one point I was like, I just can't let him... he was basically unburrowing his Lurker and coming closer, so I knew he wanted to bust me straight up. He had Muta, and I just scanned and straight up target fired the Lurker, and I hit all of them, but I didn't know how to react to that, to be honest. For the first time, Zerg actually was just focusing on directly busting. Most of the time they just, put Lurker in front of your base in an arc, but this guy just wanted to kill him. So I managed to kill those Lurker, but I don't know if there was a better way.
Let's take a look. I opened the game.
Yeah. Also, his Muta macro was not that bad, to be honest. It was like 1292, so almost 1.3k, And I was surprised by his micro, to be honest. And I knew I had to be careful with the Marines. I played the Smurf once, and I lost like maybe 1 minute after we got popped and were on my base. It just killed too many Marines.
Yeah, that's why
I
accurate
couldn't do
placement is
anything.
very important. Because you should actually not fight the initial meters without turrets, because you don't have range. And mutas can really
it's also a thing, yeah.
wreck you.
Oh yeah, so it's a game where we double scout. I don't know if I try to catch the Overlord. I don't know the timing on this map. On Polyploid it's fine, but I wonder if you can catch the OV.
It
No,
depends.
I
I don't depend on scouting the Overlord.
Looking at above, like what is? Oh wait, but no, it's not the same. Yeah, you saw I tried to go here to scout eventually. When I sent
think
the
I'll
over.
have to go because it's getting late, but thanks for the lesson, and I'm
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you later. So now I will see his Overlord, so I will straight up send my SCV back to mining, the second one. Oh, I forgot.
No, you reacted a little bit there.
Yeah, I thought so now
you
I
can
don't
actually,
web hatch.
you should prematurely send your SCV to your natural so that you are right there when you scout his natural. Do not lose time building the CC, because you now had shortly 500 minerals. So you could have gotten it earlier. So and he.
So you're right there, so 3 eggs, so I already knew I was pretty suspicious about 6 things already.
I usually now send also an SCV to the natural to build the depot, the third depot, and then if I also see that, I usually think I send just another one to prepare for a bunker, but I usually
and it's right there. We will bunker because I thought he sent his SCV his links towards my base, but he just
yeah, that's what I just look if he chases my SCV, and if he chases it, I don't build the bunker.
So I should have maybe just cancelled it because all the links except one.
Yes, and also better bunker positioning is also advised. It's too far away from the actual CC.
Yeah, exactly. It's always the same. But at this silo, most of the time they don't really micro their Zergling, so I can keep it alive for quite a long time.
If they don't micro, you can keep it alive.
I don't have really a bad time, like mineral walk and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, I saw that he put second gas and he had many drones, so I knew he was not all in for sure, but as he was playing around with his Zerglings, at least I keep track of them, so...
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. I mean...
But right now it's about to die, so I'll just send back to mine.
Pretty much. I do it the same way.
So am I gonna start a slightly late stream? Oh, okay. A bit late, not that late, but yeah, like 5 seconds late. Then magics every time, but late magics.
Yeah, your academy timing in general is a little bit late because your scanners are also late. But
yeah, magic are way much late, not what I expected. So now I scan. I see 3.
Okay, let's
so
I have a book.
But I should have scanned also the natural, because I just said, oh yeah, also I didn't saw the Hydra then. I scanned, but I watched, I saw that, but like 2-3 seconds later, he put value dead, so I'm not watching the screen.
No, it's okay. It's a pretty standard timing. If he actually seems to go pretty standard, because he gets his third base, he gets early Hydra then to be able to hold like your first move out, or first move out basically.
So I get 6 mutas. Yeah, I'll never really know when I can move out also. So I know sometimes it's to put pressure just so he puts sunkens, but yeah, I never sure should I move out or should I stay at base to be sure.
Well, you can just go by your own timings, like when range finishes you can move out. Or I would move out when range finishes. And you should also get +1 much earlier.
Yeah, but when I remember, +1 was so late. I don't know when to get it into Rax Taka, because back in the day it was 5 Rax +1 when Hatch was Thunder, so you get early +1, but yeah, into Rax Taka I'm never sure. Yeah, just started it.
I would get it between stim and range actually, because that's when you have the first 100 gas available again. And then your range is a little bit delayed because you don't have the actual gas. But I like it because the +1 is much faster then, and it doesn't help me much to get the range that much earlier, or that much in quotations, because it's like 10-20 seconds later. And by then he still doesn't have lurkers, or he cannot have lurkers by that time, so it's okay.
Yeah. So right now I guess I'm supply blocked,
yeah,
of course I am.
And that's also the problem, that you don't have turrets near your barracks at the ramp. You cannot move out.
It's also wrong side, I realized it afterward. I think I put the turret in the wrong side.
And if you had turrets there, you could easily move out and threaten him. And then he would have to back off.
Yeah, because I knew he wanted to, he was always like, behind this wall, because he wanted to... So I don't have vision, and he can just do all the micro. And so I knew he wanted that. He wanted me to go close to the cliff, like the eye stuff. So I tried to keep going back to my barracks. So now I moved out. So I think I still didn't know he had Lurker. I think that he got me by surprise, yeah.
Okay.
I will see.
He actually seems pretty decent, I must say. He also already...
Yeah, I don't know, man. When I saw he was like not even above 1.3k, I was it's not possible, man. It's not possible. This guy is not in rank. Like, there's no way.
His timings are too good for that.
And right now,
look
at what's gonna happen. So I saw that, okay? And I badly scanned, I don't know why. Then I hesitated. Then I really wanted to go, so I knew I had to attack him. So I prepared the Marine.
That's actually really good.
And I focus fire the Lurker because I know mutas are not the biggest threat right there. And then you just lose all the mutas. But the thing is, I feel like it was a risky move.
Your micro... it was an okay move because you didn't have a bunker in a good position.
Yeah, and you killed all Utilisk and Lurkers.
Yeah, but you see...
And this, imagine this, you did this without the +1, it wasn't finished already.
Oh, yeah.
It just finished after the fight, so...
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So that would have been... And now, I can't remember, but I will also kill the Lurker, I think. So most of the time I realize everything, no? I pay attention to the map and... Ouch. That one hurt though. And I don't know how did I do that, but I did it. So now I knew if throw away many units.
Okay.
So I just gather more units,
and
then I will push, I think.
If you see like isolated 2 Lurkers or something, it's worth it to kill them. To just stim and kill them, because the thing is about 2 hatch openings, Zerg doesn't have a lot of links, so he cannot really like counter your running close to the lurkers with links, so you are free to kill lurkers that are isolated.
I should have killed this OV. Why didn't I kill it? I don't know.
Yeah, why did you run back?
Yeah, I don't know. It was killed by an overlord, man. It's a scout. It's literally a scout that gave him information for some reason. I didn't finish him off. So I killed at least this Zergling that was scouting. So he, as you know, now if you look at his vision, I can pretty much go around and yeah, I think he wanted to backstab me or something like that here. Or he
And
wanted
also
to
do one more bunker a bit outside your natural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I
that
should have
was
added
really-
that as well. In case of backstab, exactly, yeah. So now he will see it. Because of this OV that I didn't kill
And
earlier.
your bunker is empty. As
Yeah,
I
but that's
noticed.
okay.
Ah, yeah. In this game I just emptied
Yeah.
it, I guess. I chose
If you
it
pay
was okay.
attention.
And now he's like, no, fuck, he's retreating back his unit. And I don't know why did he do that. Because when I came at his natural with my vessel to see if there was lurker, there was zero lurker. I was, what? Because I scanned like 30 seconds ago, there was a lot of lurker. Ah, okay, one.
Yeah, he
That's why.
retreated because his consume wasn't quite done, but it is now, and I think he just can hold now with Defiler.
Yeah, and I just demonstrated rush when my tanks are just dancing around. And yeah, I think he panicked as well because you see his army is in good. And right now, yeah, but it was already too
The
late.
defiler timing was late a bit.
Yeah, also. And I
Yeah,
killed instantly the. And yeah, his defiler, I just didn't use them for some reason. I thought he played pretty well until that point. I don't know why. It seems to just straight up panic.
Yeah, his Defiler's built a little bit too late. He had the tag ready, but he didn't have a Defiler. And he made the
And yeah, I just G-Matrix.
made the mistake that he didn't have any lurker at the natural. He should have kept.
Yeah, I was so surprised by that. Oh yeah, on the look at that, look at that, look at that. Are you ready to look at this? Look closely what we had. It was hilarious. I think it was really what happened. Look. I will block his lurker perfectly. And then his Defiler, no, his Defiler. Yeah, I almost killed it, so yeah, it was like, yeah, okay. I just leave, okay. When I blocked that lurker, man, I was like, no way, I just done that.
Yeah.
I was so happy because one lurker under Dark Swarm, and yeah, it can be really. But yeah, it's just that situation, specific situation. He just, I thought he was just gonna borrow his lurker in front of my natural, but I think he really wanted to straight up kill me, and I was not sure if it was the right answer to attack the lurker like that.
I would say it was. You could have maybe spread your top marines a little bit further so that the splash isn't so bad. But other than that, it was fine. And I think you didn't stim everything, but it was an okay engagement. And he made the mistake that he stayed with his mutas and he lost everything.
Yeah, the Muta, I think, yeah, when he lost his lurker for some reason, just just let his Muta die, and I knew it was the moment where I could just gather some more units, vessel tank, and then just push, like. Because it's the thing with Terran, you don't have to be too hassle, you know. You always have to be careful. And if I just try to push with like a 7 marine and 4 magic and 1 tank, I think it was something like that. No, I didn't have another tank yet. I killed all the luck of the mutas. I had maybe like 5, 6 marine and 4 magic. It would be a mistake if I just tried to push with that. I would have lost.
Yeah, you really have to be
pretty
careful of still counter attacks. Just wait a little bit to get a bigger army, and then
it's a thing you have to. It's a thing I understood with Terran. It's sometimes you just wait a little bit more, and you will win. Because sometimes I thought in some games that I had to push right now, you know, because else he will rebuild army or he will have better tech or something. and then I just lost all my units, and I lost the game basically. So yeah, Terran is very. You have to very understand it.
Yeah. Alrighty, that was basically all the replays I had to show you. And if you don't have anything else, I guess we can end it here. And thanks for providing all the games. So I had
No problem.
I got a closer look at what the problems are.
Oh fuck, I had a question but I forgot it. Right, because I take I have keep up a file, like a Google Excel file, you know, Google sheet, spreadsheet where I wrote every timing, every stuff. And I know it was about that. Yeah, about 2 Hatch Muta, they're supposed to pop at 5:30 or at 6 minutes.
The mutas should pop like 5:35 or something like that.
Yeah, and they should arrive at your base around 6,
Yeah, a little bit before,
I
yeah.
think. That's right? Okay, yeah, because every time I'm struggling. And if pre-Hatch Muta, it's 6:30 but they pop, right?
6:10, 6:20, something like that, I think. And they arrive at your base at like 6:40 or something.
Okay.
Or I think they start at 6:10, 6:20. Yeah, I think this is like with 2H they start at 5:30.
Yeah, they made 25 seconds to make, so...
Yeah, I think so.
I also try to learn every, unit, the timing, upgrade, stuff like that, so I know how late I am, how late he is, like for example, I know that for plus 2 for the 2-1 timing in TVP, it takes 6 minutes. Approximately, it's exactly 5:49, but it's 6 minutes if I rounded it up to make the both upgrades, the +1 and +2. So yeah, learning those things can really help you figuring out.
That helps, of course, yeah. I don't know myself everything. I just keep track of the main things, like I have to scan at 5:30 versus 2H Muta to see them back in time. I have to scan at 6:10 versus 3H to see the tech in time.
Yeah.
And the same with TVP. If I want to go for an academy follow-up, I have to scan at 6:30 to see Reavers in time.
Yeah, that's it, exactly that.
Yeah, I have to see the Nexus at 4 to 4:20, and if it's not done or started, then eBay. Stuff like that.
Okay, well, that was a nice session.
Yeah.
I think it's been like 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, it was a lot of replays.
Yeah. But that was worth it.
Was nice.
Okay, so I guess we go.
Yeah, we can end it here.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, Shiba, and bye, Riot.